Japan education. Primary schools, secondary schools and universities were introduced in 1872 as a result of the Meiji Restoration. Since 1947, compulsory education in Japan comprises elementary and junior high school, which together last for 9 years, from age 6 to age 15. Almost all children continue their education at a 3-year senior high school. Japan's education system played a central part in the country's recovery and rapid economic growth in the decades following the end of World War II. After World War II, the Fundamental Law of Education and the School Education Law were enacted. The latter law defined the school system that would be in effect for many decades: 6 years of elementary school, 3 years of junior high school, 3 years of high school, and 2 or 4 years of university. Starting in April 2016, various schools began the academic year with elementary school and junior high school integrated into one 9-year compulsory schooling program, in hopes to mitigate bullying and truancy. MEX plans for this approach to be adopted nationwide in the coming years. In Japan, having a strong educational background greatly improves the likelihood of finding a job and earning enough money to support oneself. Highly educated individuals are less affected by unemployment trends, as higher levels of educational attainment make an individual more attractive in the workforce. The lifetime earnings also increase with each level of education attained. Furthermore, skills needed in the modern 21st century labor market are becoming more knowledge-based, and strong aptitude in science and mathematics are more strong predictors of employment prospects in Japan's highly technological economy. Japan is one of the top-performing OECD countries in reading literacy, maths and sciences, with the average student scoring 540, and has one of the world's highest educated labor forces among OECD countries. The Japanese populace is well educated, and its society highly values education as a platform for social mobility and for gaining employment in the country's competitive high-tech economy. The country's large pool of highly educated and skilled individuals is largely responsible for ushering Japan's post-war economic growth. Tertiary educated adults in Japan, particularly graduates in sciences and engineering, benefit economically and socially from their education and skills in the country's high-tech economy. Spending on education as a proportion of GDP is below the OECD average. Although expenditure per student is comparatively high in Japan, total expenditure relative to GDP remains small. In 2015, Japan's public spending on education amounted to just 3.5% of its GDP, below the OECD average of 4.7%. In 2014, the country ranked fourth for the percentage of 25 to 64-year-olds that have attained tertiary education, with 48%. In addition, bachelor's degrees are held by 59% of Japanese aged 25 to 34, the second most in the OECD after South Korea. As the Japanese economy is largely scientific and technological based, the labor market demands people who have achieved some form of higher education, particularly related to science and engineering, in order to gain a competitive edge when searching for employment opportunities. About 75.9% of high school graduates attended a university, junior college, trade school, or other higher education institution. The two top-ranking universities in Japan are the University of Tokyo and Kyoto University, which have produced 16 Nobel Prize laureates. The Program for International Student Assessment, coordinated by the OECD, currently ranks the overall knowledge and skills of Japanese 15-year-olds as 6th best in the world.